Hey there! Today we'll have a look at a pen by Visconti, and as you know I like Visconti. This is the Homo Sapiens, but it's not the Homo Sapiens made of lava, it's the Homo Sapiens Crystal, which is a demonstrator, limited edition. It's been out for a while now, but I ran into one, and they're quite cute. Visconti Firenze, the writing Renaissance, and what the box says. It's a cardboard box. You take off the lid, and in there is this other box, and one of the features I love about Visconti, and they're not the only ones to do it, but is this little flap so that you can take out the actual box a lot more easily. It comes a little cloth protection wrapper, and then you have the actual box. Highly shiny, very, very attractive. I absolutely love these boxes. They're very heavy too, have a nice soft cover on the bottom, very luxurious feel. Okay, and inside that is the pen. I'm going to take out the pen so that I don't drop it, because I have been known to occasionally drop things. Below the little platform is the identity card. This is number 216 of 1000. There's only 1000 of these pens. Put that back in there. Satisfying snap. And here is the pen. Now, this is the blue version. There was also a green version called Florentine Hills. This is the blue version. Looks like this. I'm going to cover the parts of the pen, tell you what I like about it, what I don't like about it, and then I'll do a writing sample. Alright, the top of the pen, this is personalized with the Visconti My Pen system. It comes with the rather bland Visconti logo. You can take it off, and then you can buy little gemstones and stuff that you can put on there. It's a very simple magnetic system, but I do really like that, because that means you can really personalize your pen. You can also put in your initials or zodiac signs or stuff like that. Alright, then we have the clip, patented by Visconti. Of course, it's the shape of the Ponte del Vecchio in Florence. I always like that design a lot. Very iconic. You have the blue material used for the cap, and you have these double rings here. And you have the center band that says 216 of 1000 and Homo Sapiens. And you have this, in principle, clear barrel. You can see the ink sloshing around there with blue highlights, and of course those would be green in the Florentine Hills. Here you have the end. It's a power filler system. You unscrew this, you pull out a plunger, put it in the ink, push it back in, creates a vacuum, draws up ink, holds quite a bit of ink. Now, what I noticed in the store is that there's a significant difference in pattern on these pens. They are handmade, and you see this blue here. Well, there were also pens that had just one stripe of blue and almost nothing on the other side. So the other side was entirely clear. So if you buy a pen like this, it might be a good idea to actually go to a shop, a physical brick and mortar shop, check out the various pens and see which pattern you like best. Okay, the cap has that half-click turn system that Visconti uses, and that I also like a lot. Very snug fit. Take the cap there and I'll try to show you. It's very nice, very simple. I like it. The downside to that is that you get these groove things. Okay, then you have the sections, somewhat hourglass shaped, and then a nice, rather big 23 karat palladium nib. This is medium. Okay, in all, I would say the pen has a decent size. If you so desire, you can of course post it, but then it really becomes rather big, and also for me too top heavy. The nib is that Palladium Dream Touch, and that's a nib that I like a lot. I have used a couple of the broad nibs, and this is the medium nib. Very nice, rather springy, and just very, very pleasant overall. Very smooth. I have had a broad nib that was somewhat over polished, and I need a little bit of work to make it stop skipping, but this medium wrote pretty well straight out of the box. Okay, so what do I like about the pen? What do I not like? I'll start with the things I don't like so much, and actually that is only one thing, and that is that I love this closing system on the cap that really makes it snap in place nicely, but the downside to that is these odd looking grooves. Are they terrible? No. Do they bother me? Not really, but if I have to comment on something, these can be a bit sharp, and when you touch them, if you have somewhat larger fingers, you will definitely feel that when you write. When you hold the section as it's supposed to be held, it shouldn't be a big deal. Alright, something else is that the power filler system is very nice because it has two ink chambers, a large one and a smaller one. You can drain the smaller one so the ink goes back into the large chamber. When you fly, that's what it was developed for. No ink is squeezed out when there are changes in air pressure in the cabin. A downside to this particular pen is that there seems to be a type of inner sleeve in that small chamber. A little bit of ink can get trapped between the outer wall of that sleeve and the inner wall of the barrel, and then you get some discoloration. I'm sure you could put in some bleach or water, but watered down bleach, but it's a bit of a bother to clean. Is it a big deal? That will depend on you. The thing is, if you put in another ink, you don't really see it until it starts to run dry. So that's something else I'll remark. The final thing I would say, that goes for all power fillers, I have not yet used a Visconti power filler that fills all the way. If it would be able to do that, that would be fantastic, because then you have a giant ink capacity, but even now you have a large ink capacity, so it's not such a big deal. Pardon me. Things I like about it: the nib, a dream to write with. Nice line variation, very smooth, very pleasant. I like the power filler. The power filler is a really nice system, secondary ink chamber, very fancy, works very well, and is very practical to use, and also one of the few pen systems that I really find a lot of fun to clean, because you keep drawing up ink and expelling it. It's a very cool system. Okay, so that I really like. I like the looks of the pen. I like the fact that the section is the same color as the barrel, that the end cap is also the same color. I like the overall looks. You know that when you buy Visconti, you buy a pretty pen. I'm yet to see a Visconti that I really hate. Some of them are a bit too extravagant to my taste, but in principle, you buy a nice, reliable writer that also looks very pretty. The price is not low. This is an expensive pen. It is a limited edition. Is it absolutely worth what you pay for it? That's up to you. Is the price completely warranted? That's up to you. It's definitely a high price. Bear in mind, it is a limited edition, and I think most fountain pens are overpriced anyway. When you really think about it, what you really get in the end is just a pen. So that's really a personal matter of whether you find it worth it or not. In this case, I find it worth it for a very attractive writing instrument. Okay, let's take a couple of measurements and then I'll do a writing sample. I haven't really commented on the writing quality yet, except for the fact that it is a smooth writer. And I think that I really enjoyed the nib, wrote well out of the box, no problems whatsoever. 5.82 inches capped, that is 148 millimeters. Uncapped, 132 millimeters, that's 5.2 inches, and the section diameter ranges from about 11 millimeters, that's 0.43 of an inch, to 12 millimeters, that's 0.48 of an inch. Now let me weigh this. It's pretty much just inked up, and I get 42 grams, so not super heavy, but you'll definitely feel that you're holding something when you use this pen. Okay, I hope this was useful. Let's do a writing sample, and I'll gladly see you later. Bye bye. Alright, writing with what is affectionately known as the Visconti Homo Sapiens Crystal in medium. The nib is, well, the nib is medium, I just told you that. The ink, is Oranjeboven by Ackerman. Writing. Pleasant, smooth, no skipping. I love it. How about a bit of fast writing? nice, responsive, no skipping. As with most of the Visconti nibs I have used, it's relatively wet. I do find this ink to be relatively fast drying, but it is a pretty wet pen in my experience. Line variation. It is one of the Dream Touch nibs Visconti does, so you can squeeze out quite a bit of line variation. Very nice, responsive, characterful nib. I really like that. And if you really have to, you can use it for some reverse writing, but it runs dry very quickly, as you can see. So, I hope this was useful. Beautiful pen, and I'll gladly see you later. Bye bye.